Welcome back to the deep dive. We're plunging into, well, a really dense stack of source material today.
Yeah, a heavy one. We're looking to pull out the key insights, the maybe uncomfortable truths.
Definitely uncomfortable. Today, it's a deep dive into the contradictions, the documented life of Theodore Robert Bundy, one of America's most infamous serial killers.
Right, and our mission is not just about listing the crimes, because, many people know the basics.
Sure.
We're synthesizing everything, the biographies, psychiatric reports, police files, to really get at the psychological markers behind his spree. That period between, 74 and 78.
Exactly. We're hunting for those moments, those connections that explain the disconnect. Because it's huge, isn't it?
It's almost incomprehensible.
Mm-hmm.
The gap between the man he seemed to be charming, respectable, and the sadistic reality.
That disconnect, it really is the core theme. It runs through everything we've looked at. I mean, just look at the scope. Active maybe 4 years before the final capture.
Roughly, yeah. Executed in 89, age 42.
And the numbers, they're staggering. 20 confirmed victims, 30 confessed, but suspected. Over 36, mostly young women, girls.
Across the Pacific Northwest, Utah, Colorado, Florida, it's a wide net.
And that juxtaposition you mentioned, that's what we really need to unpack for you, the listener.
Yeah, because here's this guy, an honor student, studied psychology, volunteered for political campaigns.
He was even on the Seattle Crime Prevention Advisory Committee. It's unbelievable.
And Ann Rule, the biographer who actually knew him, worked alongside him at a suicide hotline.
Right, in Seattle.
She described him, at least in that context, as kind, solicitous, and empathetic.
Empathetic, that's the word that jumps out. Someone you'd trust.
Right, absolutely. But then you flip the coin, his own defense lawyer, Polly Nelson, who saw him at the end,
What'd she say?
called him the very definition of heartless evil.
Yeah.
And Ann Rule, later, she called him a sadistic sociopath.
Someone who got pleasure not just from sex, but from pain, from control.
Exactly. It's a profile of performance, calculated performance. He built that image, brick by brick.
He even admitted it later, didn't he? Said something like he was the most cold-hearted son of a bitch you'll ever meet.
He did, which shows he knew. He was aware of the void inside. And that awareness, that's crucial to understanding the manipulation.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Let's start right at the beginning, the foundation of all this deception. His early life. It seems like the template was set pretty early on.
Well, what's really fascinating here is just how early that foundational deceit began. He was born Theodore Robert Cowell, 1946.
And because of the stigma back then, illegitimacy in the 1940s.
Right, a huge deal. So his maternal grandparents, Samuel and Eleanor, they raised him in Philadelphia, but they posed as his parents.
And his actual mother, Eleanor Louise Cowell, she was presented as his older sister. To him, to everyone.
Imagine discovering that. He found out years later, maybe saw his birth certificate, the one labeling him a bastard. Accounts vary on exactly when or how.
But however he found out, the sources are pretty clear. This concealment messed with his head. It fueled this lifelong resentment towards his mother.
Totally. A massive sense of betrayal. And she never told him who his biological father was, just listed as unknown, though some family members suspected. Maybe the grandfather.
Samuel Cowell, yeah, he's another contradiction.
He is. Because Bundy sometimes spoke warmly about him, said he identified with him, respected him.
But other accounts, and even Bundy's own later confessions to lawyers, they paint a very different picture.
A tyrannical bully. That's the phrase used.
And we really need to look closely at the source material on Samuel because it seems to echo in Bundy's later behavior, doesn't it?
It really does. Family members describe Samuel as not just harsh, but unpredictably violent.
Beating his wife, the dog, swinging cats by the tail.
And throwing his own daughter, Louise, down the stairs for oversleeping. If Bundy spoke warmly of that guy, even while knowing about the rage.
It suggests maybe he admired that power or internalized it somehow, that control.
Could be. Seeing that violence, especially aimed at women, so early on, it might have laid some groundwork for his own pathology, his need for domination.
Which gives some context maybe for the unsettling behavior that started showing up in his youth after they moved to Tacoma.
Oh yeah, those early warning signs. Like his aunt waking up.
To find 3-year-old Ted standing over her bed, surrounded by knives, just smiling, chilling.
And neighbors in Tacoma, they remembered him as mean-spirited, animal cruelty.
Hanging a cat, setting it on fire, building punji traps in the woods to hurt other kids. This wasn't just childhood mischief, was it?
No. It feels targeted, premeditated cruelty. A clear lack of empathy, even then.
But all the while, he's building this other persona, the the respectable one. Goes back to the University of Washington, studies Chinese, psychology, gets honors.
He really worked on that mask, and
Yeah.
politics was a big part of it. Volunteering for Rockefeller.
Working for Governor Dan Evans's campaign, even shadowing the opponent.
And getting appointed to the Seattle Crime Prevention Advisory Committee. Think about that, deep inside the system.
People described him as smart, aggressive, a believer in the system. It gave him cover, complete trustworthiness, seemingly.
Which brings us to, well, a really crucial personal moment. That defining breakup. Diane Edwards, 1968.
He called her his only love. She dumped him. Why? Immaturity, lack of ambition.
That's what the sources say.
Mm-hmm.
And psychiatrist Dorothy Otnell Lewis thought this rejection was maybe the pivotal moment.
A huge blow to his ego. He couldn't handle rejection, could he? Needed control.
Always. So after that, he retreats, travels east, and the sources confirm he dives deep into violent pornography in New York.
Not just casual stuff, more like nursing those wounds, right? Consuming narratives of domination.
Exactly. But the story with Edwards isn't over. He starts dating Elizabeth Klopfer, Liz Kendall, in Seattle.
But then, summer 73, he goes back to Edwards. She's successful now. Professional.
And he pursues her aggressively, tells people she's his fiancée, makes plans.
Pure performance. All designed to get back control, wasn't it?
Totally. Because then, bam, January 1974, he just cuts her off,
Oh.
cold.
When she finally got him on the phone, he just said, I have no idea what you mean. Ice cold.
And his motive. He basically admitted it later. I just wanted to prove to myself that I could have married her. Just proving he could.
And the timing. The sources nail this down. The disappearances of young women start right then. January 74. Almost exactly when he drops out of law school for good.
Yeah, by April, he was out. So rejection by Edwards, failure at law school, another hit to the ego. It seems like that pushed him completely.
The facade just couldn't hold anymore, and the violence became his new focus, his new ambition.
Okay, moving into part 2, 1974. This is when the confirmed crime spree really erupts. Washington, Oregon. And the violence is immediate. It's profound. It's organized.
The first documented attack, January 4th, 74, just after midnight. Karen Sparks, 18 years old.
Yeah, UW student. Bludgeoned, sexually assaulted with a metal rod from her own bed frame. Horrific internal injuries.
She survived somehow, but permanent brain damage, loss of vision, hearing.
And it wasn't random street crime. It was an invasion into her own room.
Yeah.
A targeted attack.
Then a month later, February 1st, Linda Ann Healy, 21, also bludgeoned in her basement room.
And Healy's case is critical because it sets the pattern of taking the victim. He didn't leave her there.
He bludgeoned her, dressed her, carried her away.
And he later confessed he drove her somewhere secluded, raped, and murdered her. This is the start of that possession idea we need to get back to.
And it kicks off this spree. Young, attractive, white college students, long, dark hair, parted in the middle.
A look that resembled both Edwards and Klopfer, didn't it?
Definitely. And it becomes almost monthly. Donna Gail Manson, Susan Rancourt, Roberta Kathleen Parks, disappearing across Washington, Oregon.
And the details.
Yeah.
They're chilling. Bundy claimed he burned Manson's skull in his girlfriend's fireplace, trying to get rid of every trace.
Down to the last ash, he said, out of paranoia and cleanliness. Shows how meticulous he was trying to be, even early on.
His method, his modus operandi, it quickly centered on exploiting kindness, right?
Yeah, the props, the fake cast, the sling, crutches, appearing injured and needing help.
Asking women to help carry books or ski boots to his car. Gaining sympathy.
The car itself, that light brown or tan VW Beetle, it was part of the strategy too.
Absolutely. Common car, looked harmless. And witnesses kept describing the color differently. Brown, tan, bronze, orange. Made it harder for police to track.
And if the sympathy play didn't work?
It switched to authority. Officer Roseland in Utah. Richard Burton, Fire Department in Florida. People tend to obey authority figures.
But Leek Sammamish, July 74, that felt like a huge escalation. Broad daylight, crowded park. Why take that risk?
It seems like a test. Testing his own power, his own invisibility cloak. He was so confident in that mask.
Witnesses saw him clearly. White tennis outfit, arm in a sling, asking women for help with a sailboat that wasn't even there.
Pure theater. And on that one afternoon, he abducted Janice Ott, 23. Then, maybe 4 hours later, Denise Naslund, 19, vanished from the same park.
The brazenness shocked everyone.
And the detail he later shared with the FBI's Bill Hagmaier, it's just depraved. He claimed Ott was still alive when he came back with Naslund.
Forced one to watch the assault and murder of the other.
That's what he confessed. He tried to walk it back later, before the execution. But just the fact he said it, It points to this deep, sadistic need for psychological torture, not just the physical act.
And the ultimate display of nerve. Jorgen Hawkins, UW Alley, brightly lit. Police swarmed the area right after she disappeared.
Yeah, they scoured it.
Mm-hmm.
But Bundy confessed he went back the next afternoon, in daylight.
And just calmly picked up her earrings and a shoe that the police missed in the parking lot next door.
Detective Robert Keppel said it was so brazen that it astonishes police even today. Just total contempt for law enforcement, believing he was smarter than all of them.
Then, August 74, he shifts geographically, moves to Salt Lake City for law school. Another ambition.
He was excited about it, apparently, but then found the first-year curriculum completely incomprehensible. Another failure. Another blow to the ego.
And that seems to just fuel the criminal side even more, doesn't it?
The killing just continues, seamlessly. Utah, then Colorado, Idaho, same victim profile. Young, white, attractive.
Nancy Wilcox, 16. Melissa Ann Smith, 17. She was the local police chief's daughter. Again, the risk-taking.
Laura Ann Aim, 17. And the violence escalates. Beatings, rape, sodomy, strangulation with stockings.
Which brings us to Carol Duranche, the first escapee. November 8th, 1974. This was huge.
Absolutely critical. He used the Officer Roseland fake cop routine at a mall in Murray, Utah.
But she fought back when he tried to handcuff her.
Yeah, her quick thinking was incredible. He messed up, managed to get both cuffs on the same wrist. She broke free from the car.
A huge break for the police because of the handcuffs.
Exactly. Physical evidence and, crucially, a key that matched those cuffs. Found near where Deborah and Kent, 17, disappeared later that same night.
Wow, same night. So that key linked him physically to both an attempted abduction and a disappearance.
A tiny piece of metal, but it was a start. After Kent, he heads to Colorado, Idaho. Karen Campbell at a resort. Julie Cunningham, lured with the crutches routine.
And Lynette Culver, just 12 years old, abducted during her lunch break from junior high, drowned in a hotel bathtub.
The geographical range, the pace. It shows this escalating compulsion he couldn't stop.
Okay, part 3, arrest, the escapes, and that final horrifying spree. This phase really highlights his arrogance, doesn't it? His belief he could outsmart the system.
Right up to the end. The first arrest, August 16, 1975, Granger, Utah, late at night.
Officer Bob Hayward spots the VW cruising a neighborhood, pulls him over.
And Bundy bolts. High-speed chase. That immediate flight screams guilt. Hayward also noticed the passenger seat was gone from the VW, made space for carrying victims.
And the stuff they found in the car, Bundy tried to explain it away, but come on.
Yeah, the burglary tools excuse didn't wash.
Yeah.
Ski mask, pantyhose mask, crowbar, handcuffs, trash bags, rope, ice pick.
Those are predator tools for constraint, control, disposal.
But maybe the most crucial information came from someone close to him. Elizabeth Klupfer. Liz.
Despite being terrified, she'd reported him multiple times.
Detailing all the weird stuff. Crutches that appeared and disappeared. Surgical gloves. A meat cleaver he never used for cooking. Plaster of Paris. Yeah, maybe for making casts.
And that detail about his obsession with her hair. Long, dark, middle part. Just like the victims. Chilling.
She even said she woke up sometimes finding him looking at her body with a flashlight. And when she confronted him about stolen items, he threatened to break her neck.
Just how fast that charm could vanish. Turned to pure menace.
Then came the scientific breakthrough. That impounded VW. Forensics went over it with a fine-tooth comb.
And found hairs?
Hairs. Microscopically indistinguishable from 3 victims. Karen Campbell, Melissa Smith, and Carol Duranche, the woman who escaped.
3 different victims who never met. Hairs in one car.
The FBI expert called it a coincidence of mind-boggling rarity. Circumstantial, yeah, but incredibly powerful scientific evidence.
Still, he only got convicted initially for the Duranche kidnapping, 1 to 15 years, then extradited to Colorado for the Karen Campbell murder charge.
And that's when the escapes happen. It's just astonishing.
He acts as his own lawyer, right, in Aspen, June 77.
Yeah, gets himself unshackled to work in the law library. He sees an open window.
And just jumps, second story, 30 feet.
Lands, injures his ankle, but gets away. Hikes for 6 days, stealing stuff, before they catch him again.
And the maps they found in the car he stole. Prosecution maps marking where Campbell's body was found. That suggests planning, right? Not just an impulsive leap.
Absolutely calculated.
Yeah.
But the second escape, December 77, Garfield County Jail. Even more audacious.
How did he manage that one?
Got a hacksaw blade smuggled in. Probably by visitors, maybe Carol Ann Boone, who fiercely believed he was innocent.
And he just sawed his way out.
Over weeks, meticulously cut a hole in his cell ceiling. Then, the night of December 30th,
He made a dummy in his bed.
with books and files under a blanket, climbed into the crawl space, broke into an empty apartment belonging to the chief jailer.
Put on the jailer's clothes, a suit and tie.
Yep, another disguise, using authority again, and just walked out the front door, free for 47 days.
That escape, that ego boost. It led straight to Florida, didn't it? The final spree.
Directly, he lands in Tallahassee.
Yeah.
And within a week, the Chi Omega attack. FSU sorority house.
This one felt different, more impulsive, faster.
Terrifyingly efficient.
Mm.
Less than 15 minutes, they think. Slipped in through a faulty back door.
Attacked Margaret Bowman first, bludgeoned, garroted her with pantyhose.
Then Lisa Levy, an incredibly violent assault. Bludgeoning, strangling, biting. Sexual assault with a hairspray bottle. Just brutal.
2 other women survived, thank God. Kathy Kleiner, Karen Chandler, severe injuries, broken jaws.
And then he walks 8 blocks away. Attacks Cheryl Thomas in her duplex. Fractured skull, jaw, permanent deafness, all in one night.
Completely unhinged, but still methodical in the violence.
And his final known victim. 3 weeks later, Kimberly Leach, 12 years old, abducted from her junior high.
A shift to a child victim, that felt like another awful threshold crossed.
Her remains found 7 weeks later, mummified, raped, throat cut, mutilated.
His run finally ended 3 days after Leach vanished, near the Alabama border, driving another stolen VW.
And when they caught him, found stolen IDs, credit cards, and that Richard Burton Fire Department disguise he'd used.
His alleged words to the officer, "I wish you had killed me." He knew the game was up.
Which brings us to part 4, the pathology, the end game. Trying to manipulate the system one last time.
The trials were massive media events. Chi Omega, 1979 first televised murder trial nationally.
And Bundy. He alienated his own lawyers, insisted on running his own defense, mostly.
Total grandiose delusion about his legal skills, right?
Yeah.
Polly Nelson said he sabotaged the entire defense effort.
He even turned down a plea deal at the last second, guilty to 3 murders for 75 years. Couldn't do it, couldn't admit guilt publicly. The mask had to stay on.
But the evidence was too strong, especially the bite marks.
On Lisa Levy's body, forensic odontologists matched them perfectly to Bundy's teeth. A landmark case for bite mark evidence.
Convicted. 2 death sentences for Chi Omega.
And then, the Leach trial in 1980, the penalty phase. He pulls another stunt.
The marriage on the stand.
To Carol Ann Boone. She's testifying as a character witness. He suddenly proposes, then declares them married under some obscure Florida law about declarations in court.
So what does all that tell us? The law school, the politics, the marriage, it was all just performance.
All performance.
Yeah.
All about control, validation, not love, not career, just feeding the narcissism.
The psychological assessments tried to figure him out. Early on, maybe bipolar, multiple personality disorder.
Yeah, Lewis considered it. Witnesses talked about his chameleon-like ability, how he seemed to physically change. One prison official even mentioned an odor when he shifted.
But the consensus landed on antisocial personality disorder, ASPD, and extreme psychopathy.
Off the charts, really. Scored 39 out of 40 on the hair psychopathy checklist, the PCLR. That's near perfect.
Indicating what? Complete lack of empathy, guilt.
Total absence of emotional capacity, deep manipulation, pathological lying, top-tier psychopath.
He showed 0 remorse, famously said, "Guilt doesn't solve anything. I guess I am in the enviable position of not having to deal with guilt."
People were just objects to him, things to be used, controlled.
Which leads to the darkest part, what he told Hagmeyer about possession, necrophilia.
He explained murder evolved into total possession. The victim becomes a part of you, he said. You two are forever one.
The place you kill them becomes sacred. The ultimate act was taking the life and then the physical possession of the remains.
And the post-mortem rituals, revisiting the bodies, multiple times, performing sexual acts until decomposition stopped him.
Applying makeup to Melissa Smith's face, washing Laura Ann Ames' hair.
Yeah. His chilling quote, "If you've got time, they can be anything you want them to be. Complete objectification, total control, even after death."
And the decapitations. He confessed to about 12.
The ultimate trophy, he suggested, retaining control, getting rid of evidence. He admitted keeping severed heads, maybe the 4 from Taylor Mountain, in his apartment for a while.
Taking Polaroid photos because he saw the murders as accomplishments, work he didn't want to forget.
Exactly. Documentation of his successes.
As the end neared, death row, he tried one last manipulation, didn't he? The bones for time scheme.
Yeah. Execution date set for January '89. He starts dribbling out confessions, incomplete info about where victims were buried, like Susan Curtis, hoping to trade details for a stay.
Authorities saw right through it, though. Governor Martinez called it despicable.
Detective Lindvall said it perfectly captured his personality. Confess for time versus keep the secret. Always about control.
His very last TV interview, James Dobson, the conservative psychologist.
And Bundy played him perfectly. Blamed everything on pornography, violent media, said it corrupted him.
A total calculated move, right? Catering to Dobson's agenda.
Absolutely. He told investigators before that porn played only a minor role. This was just a final attempt to shift blame, deflect responsibility.
January 24th, 1989. Execution by electric chair. His final words were just normal sounding.
Jim and Fred, I'd like you to give my love to my family and friends. To his lawyer and minister. Then cremated, ashes scattered in the Cascades as he requested.
Even his apology to his mother felt evasive. A part of me was hidden all the time. The lie followed him right to the end.
But the full toll? We still don't really know, do we? He confessed to 30, across 7 states.
Washington, Utah, Colorado, Florida, Oregon, Idaho, California.
But he loved playing games with a number. Told the FBI, add 1 digit to 36 and you'll have it. His lawyer claimed Bundy privately admitted to over 100, left it ambiguous.
And those lingering cold cases, the ones he said he'd never talk about.
Because they were too close to home, involved family, or the victims were very young.
Which points back to Anne Marie Burr, age 8, Tacoma, 1961. Bundy was 14. Delivered papers nearby.
Fits all the criteria Keppel mentioned. DNA on old evidence was inconclusive, but circumstantially. It's very unsettling. A crime possibly committed when he was just a kid.
And Vermont, 1971, he confessed to killing someone there while researching his birth. The Rita Kern case nearby was solved recently with DNA pointing to a neighbor.
Which means, who's the other victim Bundy admitted to killing in Vermont? Another unknown.
He was just so good at avoiding detection. Organized, understood police work, avoided guns, never left fingerprints at a scene. Astonishing.
Changed his look constantly. That chameleon-like ability Judge Hanson mentioned, the perfect monster hiding in plain sight.
It really does all come back to that contradiction, the mask, the narcissism. He complained people saw him in incriminating places.
Because he truly believed America to be a place where everyone is invisible except to themselves. He thought his performance was flawless, invisible.
Which leaves us with a really disturbing final thought, doesn't it, for you, the listener, to consider.
If someone like Bundy, charismatic, smart, described as empathetic, can hide such profound evil, believing he's totally unseen, what does that say?
How do we spot the monsters when they wear that perfect mask? The mask of complete, utter normalcy.
Yeah, a chilling question to think about long after we're done here.